Today I'm going to teach you about the x and y intercepts and slope-intercept form. The x-intercept of a line is where the line hits the x-axis. It occurs when y equals 0. That's important. So in the equation, y is going to equal 0. For the y-intercept of a line, it's where the line hits the y-intercept, the y-axis. It occurs when x equals 0. And then we have slope-intercept form, and that's y equals mx plus b. So what does y equal mx plus b? Remember, the m is representing the slope, and the b represents the y-intercept. So here's a question. Find the slope and y-intercept of the graph of each linear equation. So the slope, in this example, we're going to represent slope with m, is -4, because that's where the x is. My y-intercept, or my b, equals -2. Okay, so if I were to graph this, I'll make my x and y axis, I would start the graph at -4 on my, at -2 on my y-intercept. So I put a dot at -2 on my y-intercept. My slope of -4 is -4 over 1. So I go down 4, right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. Okay, or I can go up 4, left 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1. So I'm still on the same line. And that's how you'd form your line. This one I do not have in y equals mx plus b form. So I need to put it in y equals form. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I'm left with y equals 3 over 2x plus 5. So my slope is 3 over 2, and my y-intercept is 5. So if I were to graph this, I would start at +5 on my y-intercept, and then I would go up 3, right 2, up 3, right 2. Graph y equals -3x plus 3 and identify the x-intercept. So we're going to graph. Here's my x-axis, my y-axis. So I start at +3 on my y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3, that's where I start. My slope is -3 over 1. So that means I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then right 1. Or I can go up 3, left 1, and I would still be on my same line. Now it says to identify the x-intercept. So where does the line hit the x-axis? So we could put a 0 in for y, and we can solve the equation. Or we could just look at our graph. Okay, so I would do -3, -3, so -3 equals -3x divided by -3, so x equals +1. Do you see right here? That point right there hits the x-axis at +1. So I just did it algebraically, where I put a 0 in for y, or you can look at your line and see where the line hits the the x-intercept. The cost in y dollars of taking a taxi x miles is y equals 2.5x plus 2. We want to graph the equation. So let's look at my slope. My slope is 2.5, but I need it as an improper fraction. So 2 1/2 as an improper fraction is 5 over 2. So that's my slope. My y-intercept is positive 2. So now I can graph the equation. So I'm going to start on my y-intercept of positive 2. I put a dot. My slope is 5 over 2. So up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2. Okay, and then there's my line. So now I have to interpret the y-intercept and the slope. So we're talking about taking a taxi how many miles. So the plus 2 is saying no matter what, you have to pay $2 to take the taxi. So that's interpreting the y-intercept. My slope is 2.5, and that's taking the taxi X miles. So it's going to cost $2.50 per mile. So $2 to get into the taxi represents your y-intercept, and it's going to cost $2.50 per mile. That's interpreting the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, y equals x minus 4. So what is your slope? Good, your slope is 1. Don't forget we can put a 1 there. And what is your y-intercept? It's negative 4. Don't forget to take the negative sign with it. So if I were to graph this, I would start at negative 4, because that's my y-intercept, up 1, right 1. And there's my line. And the last one, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. So my slope is negative 1/2, and my y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to draw my x and y axis. So b equals 1. So on the y-intercept, I'm going to start at positive 1. My slope is negative 1/2. So that means go down 1, right 2. Or I can go up 1, left 2. I'm still going to be on the same line. I hope you understand how to find slope-intercept form. Have a great night.